It's a good question where to start, because there's sort of like been an evolution building up to it, and people in general don't know the background, right? So maybe I'll give you sort of like a very quick tour through sort of like what is the history of it. So the history of zero knowledge proof started in the 80s, right, where with the invention of zero knowledge proofs, very quickly people came on the idea that, hey, maybe we don't need interaction, right? So and one question sort of like that was puzzling me, and I was a postdoc at UCLA at this time, right, was, okay, so how can we make something that is sort of like efficient non-interactive? Because the techniques were not, were like the efficiency was absolutely horrible, right? And interestingly, just at that time, there had also been some works in something called pairing-based cryptography. And I sort of like combined those two ideas. I kind of like, discovered that there's a connection here, and pairings is sort of like the magical thing that can make some of these proofs work, right? And we sort of started constructing non-interactive zero knowledge proofs from pairings, right? I think the next big thing then, okay, so for all of these proofs here, so think of like you have something complex you want to prove, right? You have this kind of like large, complex computation claim or something like that, right? For all of them, the proof size would grow with that, right? So the more complex thing you want to prove, the bigger the proof is, right? So we would talk like it was very complex, you would have like gigabytes or terabytes of proof size, right?
Wow.
So there was this beautiful question, okay, can you do it more compactly, but still based on pairings, okay? So that you could have these kind of like very compact pairing-based proofs for, really big computations, right? First implementation was called Pinocchio, and also came up with sort of like even more efficient. And Groth16 is sort of like, so Groth10 sort of like started that. Groth16 is sort of like still, one of the best, right? And they're also like more, really trying to say, hey, what if we really push all these techniques? How small can it be, right? And now with Groth16, we're down to like, we're talking about a few hundred bytes to prove any arbitrary big and complex computation.